Burn Nation, a very special treat for you today. We have the one, the only, legendary trainer, Ashley Beasley, in the building. She is our lead trainer of Burn Boot Camp Lake Norman. She is responsible for training almost all of the trainers out there in Burn Nation through Burn University. And Ashley is here to come on, talk to us about memories, about what it takes to be the best of the best, and where Burn Boot Camp is going and why she is excited. This is a treat, everybody, and I'm excited to introduce to you, hopefully for the first time, for some of you, you already know her. This is Ashley Beasley. Let's get after it. Welcome to the Burn Podcast, where strength meets science, food fuels energy, and mindset creates momentum. I'm DK, your personal trainer, and I want you to train, eat, and think differently. So get ready to take your health and fitness to the next level here on the Burn Podcast. Let's get to work. We're going to go in all types of different directions. This will be like the Burn Boot Camp history podcast. And I want you to just give it like straight from memory, like all the things that you remember as we go through this, because I think this is going to be super insightful, especially for like burn fanatics and burn crazies who have some of these own stories with their own trainers at their own OG gyms. Isn't it crazy that when we started in a parking lot here, and like now every gym, although they don't have to, they still do that, and there's still like this nod to like the OGest of the OG, the parking lot days. You know, they're still out there on like cement doing workouts in the parking lot. But you can't. So when was your very first camp ever? Like, what was the day?
It was a Monday. I remember that. It was when you had first moved into this building, right after the parking lot. I came in, and you actually were not training. Lindsay Gilbert was training. Okay. Lindsay Key.
Mm-hmm.
And it was full body strength. I remember that. And I do not come from a fitness background at all. Zero. I was literally pushing my son, who is now 15. I was pushing him in the jog stroller around our neighborhood. That's what I was doing.
Your career was a nurse, but you were also on maternity leave for that, or
I was a surgical nurse, okay. But I was, after my son, I was staying home with my kids,
okay,
my daughter and my son. So I was stay-at-home mom, and I saw this building that you opened in was like a bike shop before.
Carolina bike shop. Yeah.
It was a bike shop, and I lived about a mile and a half down the road. So I would see, the bike shop, and then I saw this sign, Burn Boot Camp, and I was like, I don't even know what that is. I literally didn't even think twice about it though. Yeah. Just drove by on the way to the grocery store, and one day my neighbor, Ginger Galoo.
Okay.
You remember Ginger. Uh-huh. Ginger was walking our neighborhood with her little dog, and I couldn't believe what she looked like. I'm like, Ginger, what are you doing? And she's like, I joined that place down the street, Burn Boot Camp. If you want to come with me, there's free Saturdays, right?
That girl, Ginger. That a girl. Shout out to Ginger, recruiting bees into the building.
So she brought me on a Saturday. So Saturday was my first camp, free Saturday. Okay. When I joined, because I joined right after that was a Monday, right? Because closed on Sundays. So came with her on a free Saturday. It was full body strength. And Lindsay was training. And we went through, it was a circuit. I can't remember how many stations it was. It was a circuit. And we were there for like 60 seconds a piece. And we didn't do what we do now. So it wasn't like she told me how many times we were going around the circuit in the room. I just showed up. I did it. I didn't know what things were. She said, do a burpee. I had to look around the room. Wasn't even sure what was going on. But when she said, all right, back to the start, let's do it again, I was like, we're doing that again?
Run it back.
There's no way. And she was like, we're doing it 3 times. I was like, you people are crazy. I can't do that. And you want to talk about sore? I still remember it. Like, I couldn't even, my daughter was in the back of my minivan. She asked for a snack. I literally had to throw it because I couldn't reach my arm back to her in the back of the minivan.
It's a little short arm toss to the back seat. Yeah.
These memories are seared into my brain, right?
Yeah.
But I knew that day. I knew day one. And so I started on Monday on my 14-day test drive. Remember that?
Uh-huh.
And then, I knew right then. And I went home and I was like, told my husband, I was like, look, I know I'm a stay-at-home mom. I'm not bringing in any money, but whatever it costs, I got to do this. And he was like, well, we can try. Like, how long do you have to sign up? I was like, doesn't matter, because this is what I'm going to do. And you were like, if you get this group of friends and you quote unquote train with friends, right? And I was like, I don't have that many friends. And you're like, oh, I got a group I can fit you in with. Man, I bought it hook, line, and sinker. And I was like, I got in there and I never looked back.
Oh, I got you with the group clothes.
Yeah, you did. You got
me. I remember that. Okay.
Sure did.
I got you with the group clothes. That's when I would take all the members that were new trials in that week and I would create like some social engagement with them and some camaraderie by saying, well, if they're going to do it, you should do it, and lump everybody in together, give them a slight discount. Now we're all motivated and incentivized to take the journey with me.
At that point, whatever you were selling, Devan Kline, I was buying it. And we're going to talk about that later.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, we are.
We definitely are. You know, it's so cool to sit here and talk with you because, you know, Burn Boot Camp and Ashley Beasley are synonyms. Like, we go back so far together. People don't really know you from those days because now you know, obviously lead trainer at our Flagship, the largest gym in the country historically, and you train all the trainers, and you almost have this mystique about you. You're like Ashley Beasley, this trainer that is like this mystical goddess person that other trainers look up to. Seriously, and you have like this aura about
crazy.
you. You have this aura about you that is in a sense, I don't take this the wrong way, it's unhumanized. Like, people, they don't really humanize you. And I know this because I'm out in the field and they're like, what's it like to work out with her every day? And I'm like, you mean Beast? Like, that's my homie. Like,
that is crazy.
Incredible in person. She's the same exact way, you know, when you see her online or you see her in these environments, she's the same exact, like, genuine, down to earth, humble person, like the fittest, the best on the mic. Like, we know, but doesn't ever act like it, always, you know, wanting to pay forward the things that she's learned. And I thought it would just be a great idea to bring you onto the podcast and let people inside of who you are as a human being. Because, you know, you are definitely somebody that other trainers aspire to. And I thought it would be nice to bring you in, to have you speak for, you know, an hour, 90 minutes, however long we spend here on the podcast, just to normalize you and for you to talk to them and show them your journey, because through your memories that we're going to talk about today, like, they all shaped you. They shaped Burn. They shaped me. You know, you're the person that I trust to train me day in, day out. And I think every trainer needs a trainer, and you're mine, and you're not going anywhere. And I just think it will be amazing for trainers and members and everybody else to hear your heart. And
well, that's amazing. And what a huge compliment that anybody would even hold me in that esteem. Because, like, I am still that girl that came into the gym. I literally tell people all the time, I am Sally. I'm Sally. I was at home with my kids. On my first day, I know I showed up in like a V-neck T-shirt and my Old Navy capri flare pants, not knowing a thing. But I'm just somebody that I love what I do. I love this brand. I love these people. And, like, it's still astounding. It is not lost on me, but how amazing it is that I get to show up every day and do what I do.
So let's walk through after you've showed up in your V-neck day one.
Yeah.
All right. Let's and you got hooked on to the group close, the classic Burn Boot Camp trainer sales tactic to group close you there. And how did your life change from that moment in time, and did you expect that?
I had no idea. Like, honestly, the transformation physical was amazing. I had no idea. Like, I had never picked up a weight before in my life. I didn't know what strength training was. Like I said, I was running around my neighborhood pushing a jog stroller, and having never done something like that, to come into this environment where you expected results from me, you expected 100% effort from me, and you didn't accept anything less than that. My body changed very, very quickly, right? And I was astounded by the results, but the people, like, when you're a stay-at-home mom, and I won't speak for everybody, but I know I lost a part of myself. I was used to being out in the workforce and being around a lot of people, and I had started to kind of feel like I had, quote unquote, lost myself. Like, I don't really have a whole lot other than my kids and my family, and it was exactly what I needed, to be surrounded by these people who made me feel really, really empowered, and like they saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. And you have a gift of seeing things in people that others do not. So I wouldn't be where I am if you had not come to me and approached me with the offer of being one of your trainers. Like it would have never even crossed my mind. And you just have a gift that way. And I've seen it happen all throughout Burn Nation. You have a way of seeing things that other people don't see. So I want to just personally thank you for that, for changing my life in that way. But yeah, I had no idea what I was missing. I didn't know that I was necessarily missing this or missing anything until it fell into my lap.
Well, you say that, you're the epitome of when B says Sally Flame. So that's like the nickname for our logo, our Flame Lady. And the Flame Lady is Ellie, and she is the avatar of Burn Boot Camp. And, Bees, when you come in and, you say, what you're really saying is, and you just said it specifically, said, I lost myself. I wasn't where I wanted to be. So why do you think that you got that way? And what was it? What was it? Just the belief that I had in you? What else, what was the recipe for you to get out of that kind of postpartum? Sounds like there was some mild depression there, like there's with a lot of women postpartum, and that's where Burn really, really found you, and then it revealed to you more about yourself than you knew you had. What I saw in you, right, was like this enthusiastic, naturally energetic, naturally charismatic person who, hey, your work ethic was insane. Like you would come into the gym not having worked out before really, and you would lay it out there. Like I was like, if this is this lady's gas pedal, like she is a perfect trainer. So I just took all the natural tendencies that you had, and I always have believed in recruiting from within the company, not going out to like other companies like a CrossFit or something like that and getting a trainer to come in, but finding those intangible qualities. Enthusiasm, natural leadership. You had all of those things. Did you not see it at the time? Why did it take me calling it out for you to believe it?
I had never been in an environment like this. This was completely new to me. Like I played sports when I was growing up, but I ran track. I played tennis. It wasn't like I was on this team. And then all of a sudden you put me here and I'm on a team, and people are like building each other up, and we're all feeding off of each other. And I kind of felt like, hey, if I push myself, it's pushing all these people around me. And like, it caused us all to like level up each other. And so that's what I can probably equate it to, is like, I felt like I was now on a team just surrounded by people that were like-minded. But not only were we like getting after it, we were freaking having fun doing it.
Yeah.
And it was crazy. And I mean, Burn Boot Camp back in the day, a little different. It was the Wild West, and it was wild. I remember every single time I'd get in the turning lane to pull into this brick building, I would have butterflies because I didn't know what was going to happen. And if I saw you and the rest of the camp, if I got there early and I saw you guys across the street at the post office, it took everything in my body to not turn around and be like, not today.
Yeah.
Not today, because I knew what was happening over there. Because it was wild. It was crazy. There was not anything that you could throw at us that we weren't going to do.
Yeah. No, you definitely, you guys, there's like this course. So Huntersville, North Carolina is where the first gym started. We're now in Lake Norman. Huntersville is the building that we're in now. This is where the studio is. This is where our education center is, but it was Burn Boot Camp Huntersville. And do you remember we started getting pressure on us from the local businesses because during our 8:30 and 9:30 camp times, you came to those mid mornings, we would be backing up traffic like on 77. Even when you took over the mic and started becoming a trainer, like the cops would come in and be like, hey lady, you guys need to do something because you're backing up traffic on the highway
all the time.
Yeah, it's crazy that we had the power and the pull to do that. And you mentioned you're feeding off other people, and that is that created like this momentum of culture and community that attracted other people and kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger. What were some of those moments that you were feeding off of others? Do you have anything that comes to mind in particular where you and the mid-morning group is just getting after it, and I'm like torturing you guys specifically on any, like, do you have a day that sticks out to you? I'm curious where your mind goes.
Yeah, I got a day.
You got a day?
I got a day. Chelsea Theo.
Okay.
And I St. Louis.
Okay, shout out to Chelsea.
Hey, Chelsea. Hey, Chelsea.
You remember this one? I don't know what she's going to say. I think I might know. Now she gets deeper into it. Go ahead.
Discovery Place. It was the Discovery Place day.
Yeah.
Which if you don't know Discovery Place, like it's a children's, gosh, how do I even
It's like a children's museum, and it works a lot like a cone. Like you just run to the cone.
Anyway, it's a half mile. Yeah, that's where it is. It's a half mile. And the entire camp was timed sprints to and back Discovery Place. And if you didn't make it, there was quote unquote some kind of reward / punishment for not making it at a certain time. And I just remember Chelsea, Theo, and I sprinting and if you know Chelsea and I do not have the same genetics. Chelsea towers over me with her long, beautiful gazelle legs. And my little legs are trying so hard to keep up with Chelsea. And she's like, do you want to fake roll your ankle? And I was like, maybe we do. That vividly stands out in my mind. Like, these two people are like, we're pushing each other so hard to get back because I didn't want whatever you were handing out. I didn't want it. I knew.
The reward.
I knew that reward was going to be something. But that's just the camaraderie that we felt. And we're having fun. Obviously, we're not rolling our ankle, but just that would even pop in your mind. How are we going to get out of this together?
Yeah.
You know?
You know what it reminds me of is that movie. Maybe we can find a clip on YouTube, Chelsea. It's the Miracle on Ice movie. I think that's what it's called. It's where the USA hockey team is not supposed to beat, I think it's the Canadians or the Russians or something. I don't know. It's a Disney movie. And there's a scene where the coach, he makes them do these down and back sprints in a certain amount of time. And he literally tells them, we are not leaving this arena until you all beat my time. And he wasn't joking. He wasn't if you kind of get close, then, good, I'll let you slide. No, and so the whole scene is I think it's that one right there, Miracle. Maybe not. But anyways, don't play it unless you can actually find it.
Well, you are him.
I was him. And this whole scene, he goes, again. Nope. Again.
Sounds familiar.
Nope.
Yeah.
Again.
I knew you didn't have
How many times did we go down and back that day? It had to be 3.
It was more than 3.
Was it 3?
It was the whole camp. It was my nightmare. If you know anything about me, which some of you do, I am not a runner. So one of our members one time made me my own tank top. And it said, run spelled backwards is ner. And it's a ner for me. Because it is. So this was literally one of those times I pulled in the turning lane and I had butterflies because I knew I was about to get it. And I was going to live my nightmare for 45 minutes. But the thing about it is, as hard as it is, and as much as sometimes I didn't want to do it, and I'm just going to be true, you made me do things I did not want to do. The feeling I took away after it, and I say this in my camps a lot, the feeling that you take away after this is going to be well worth every bit of effort, blood, sweat, and tears that you pour into this. And it was, because it made me feel empowered. I literally left the gym every day being like, I just did that. I just did that. And I wanted that for other people. And I saw that the more I would push myself to the limit, it made somebody else do that. And we were all just cheering each other on. And we all left there feeling amazing.
The day that I came up to you and was like, hey, so have you ever thought about being a trainer? Do you remember that day?
Very, very vividly.
All right.
I probably remember what I was wearing.
Okay,
I have a real good memory.
I want you have an incredible memory. That was part of the reason why I wanted you to come on and be an interview for us, is because your memory is you have a lockbox and you remember all the little details. Oh, and I have certain memories that stick out about you as well, but they're different than the ones that you have. And so it's exciting for me to walk down memory lane with you.
So I do remember.
Describe that day. Yeah.
It was, I want to say it was a 7:30 camp, because it was your last camp of the day, and you were training. And we had run, remember we used to run in the parking lot. We would run circle that would go into the parking lot across the street.
Oh, yeah.
The bank.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So we would run sprints in a circle. And after camp was over, I remember grabbing my purse out of the cubbies, and you were like, hey, Bees, which, might I tell you, not one person in my life has ever called me Bees other than you. And now I don't know that I have another name.
I don't think any. Yeah, I gave you that. No one ever called you that.
No.
Did George get Bees growing up? Was that his because obviously you took his last name.
George is Bees,
right?
And now
Bees, and you weren't
George.
Bees. Now he's George, and you're Bees.
Yeah. It is what it is. It happened. But you said, Bees, come over here for a second, and I come popping over. You were like, what do you do? And I was like, I'm a stay-at-home mom. And you said, no, what'd you do before that? And I was like, well, I was a surgical nurse. And he said, you said, I've told this story before. You said, you're going to be my next trainer. And I vividly remember saying back to you, nobody would ever take me seriously. And what you said was, I'm going to make them. And I was like, I love this place. I love these people. I love everything about this. And I knew I wanted to be a bigger part of this. And I believed you. And I was like, okay, show me what I need to do. And you were like, NASM, ordered it, got on my computer right then, ordered it, and honestly never looked back.
Well, I pride myself in telling the truth and calling it how I see it. Not saying what other people want to hear, but saying what I observed.
You've definitely told me things I didn't want to hear before too.
We can definitely talk about that too.
That's happened.
But it was genuine because you had something inside of you. I could see it, and that there was like this. All human beings. If you look at the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, the highest form of human need is self-actualization, right? So that means that you become everything that you could potentially be. So all the potential power in you, none of that potential fuel goes unused. And I don't know, maybe I sensed something in you that day that you had more to give. You certainly had natural giftings and talents that were right in alignment with this. And yeah, I had used that story of me recruiting you to help our franchise partners now, our other 400 gyms, like help them recruit their version of Bees, so even like our story itself is a symbol of how we've built the company, which is really, really cool, because it wasn't like that day I was like, all right, I'm going to show this woman who I don't know very well, but I see her energy, I see her charisma, I see her attitude, her effort, all the non-controllables, she has them all. I could teach her to do the mechanics of training all day long if she's passionate about it. I'm going to teach her to be the best trainer in the country, and then we're going to try to recreate that the best. I wasn't like that, right? It was just literally because I thought that would be an opportunity that if you didn't get a chance to say no at it, then you never had a chance. You never had that fork in the road to say yes or to say no to a new opportunity. And it's just really cool. Hopefully it's cool for you to know that the entire business model now, when recruiting trainers, has been designed from our interaction.
Amazing. I love that. And I mean, I use it on a daily basis at Lake Norman. Yeah. That's our training team. 99% of them are handpicked off the floor. I see potential in them.
I don't want to make you call out anyone's name because you always have that downside of like leaving out other people. But in the spirit of your team knowing you and loving you and knowing your intentions, is there any person that sticks out for you that you're like, hey, this reminds me of like when Devan first recruited me and he told me I had this energy, I opened my eyes to something that was a new potential. Do you have that with anyone in particular that you've been able to like explicitly pay that forward?
Jenna Nygaard.
Oh, okay, cool. I know Jenna very well.
Jenna.
Tell everybody about Jenna and tell Jenna, introduce her for the audience. Let them know who she is and how it came to be.
So Jenna, one of our trainers on our training team. And if you've ever seen Jenna, she is stunning. She is just a beautiful human. She's tall, beautiful, beautiful hair. She was working out in our camps for a little while, and I saw somebody that worked really, really hard and was a natural born encourager. She was always building people up around her, high-fiving them. And I think in one of our conversations, she let me know that she had been at either Cycle Bar or Soul Cycle. I can't remember, instructor, one of them. Mm-hmm. So I knew that she came from a fitness background. And I was like, hey, look, you exude what Burn is all about. Like, you are such a pillar in our community. You've got such a great work ethic, and people love you. and you're always building them up and you're always loving on your people. And I see you leveling them up by leveling yourself up. Would you ever want to think about joining our team? And she's like, well, I've thought about it. Sweet little Jenna. Sweet Jenna when Jenna's not on the mic. Yeah. Jenna, because Jenna,
she lets the killer out on the mic, that's for sure.
Jenna be a little bit ruthless with me on the mic. And I love that. I want that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's exactly how she came to be a part of our community. And now sweet little Jenna is not so sweet little Jenna when she puts on the mic, but she really does love our people, and she is what Burn is all about. Like, she's just such an encourager and wants the absolute best for everybody around her. So yeah, she definitely sticks right out in my mind.
Well, she definitely embodies the characteristics, and even because you trained her, the nuances and the mannerisms and the cadence and the command, sometimes, and this is a compliment because this is the number one sign of a great leader is your ability to duplicate yourself. Right? You are not a great leader if you have nobody else behind you that can do the job. Right? No, that makes you an ego-driven narcissist that wants to keep the job, and you don't want anyone else to come behind you because you're fearful. Our culture is the exact opposite. Like watching you be able to, pay it forward to Jenna, and then eventually Jenna being able to pay it forward to someone else, and you actually duplicating yourself to the point when you're giving that person like all your secrets and all the things that made you who you are. You're just gladly paying that forward to Jenna, and I see it in the rest of Lake Norman's trainers. And it, we talk about this all the time, you and I. So let's bring our closed door conversations, in front of the podcast audience. We talk about how you've grown as a trainer. We talk about how I've grown as a leader, how the company has grown as a company. And, you and I were two of the personalities that are really driving it. And so how have you grown? Like, what sticks out to you in your journey from that first time you stepped on the mic, not quite sure of your place in Burn Nation overall, probably definitely not foreseeing yourself to be held in the light of like this Burn Boot Camp ideal trainer that everybody wants to strive to be for.
Wow.
They all tell me, I just want to have a bees. And I then politely respond to them, good luck. Good luck. But, I'll tell them, if you can train people to be 85% of how much Ashley cares, how much she leans into her membership and keeps up her own knowledge. If you could get 85% of that, you're going to hit a home run, and don't think that you need to recreate you. I mean, you're a unicorn in my eyes. And, which is great because we all need that example. We all need that shining example. And then you keep getting better. And then everybody else behind you keeps getting better. You're not the ceiling to the growth of the company because you're personally getting better. Everybody's looking up to you. You're constantly asking me, how can I get better? We do feedback loops after the gym. Every time. How many camps have you done now?
A ton.
Guess. Give me like a rough guesstimate.
I really have no
I think
clue.
It's like probably over 15,000.
It's got to be more than that.
I think it's over. Let's just call it safe. It's well over 15,000.
Okay, we'll call it that.
We'll call it that, but likely 20 or something.
I'm going to go home and do the math.
When you have that amount of experience under your belt, and then you're still willing to get up after a camp and say, hey, DK, how can I get better? Will you do a feedback loop with me? That to me, Ash, is like, come on. Like that is leadership 101. And so everybody sees that. And that's part of the subconscious reason why they follow you and why they revere you in those terms, because you are somebody who's at the top of their game, but humble enough to know that there's still room to improve. So how have you gotten that mindset, and how can you share a little bit of that growth with those listening?
I mean, we have Burn You come through Lake Norman once a month, and I have the honor of being able to witness the growth of a lot of trainers that go throughout the system. But what I'll say is Burn You is not only for them, it's such a huge value add for me because I pick up and I learn from them. And I tell them this every single time, like, I'm going to learn just as much from you guys as you are hopefully here. But also one of the best traits I think a trainer can have is humility, because when we're not, then it's all about us, and it's never going to be about us. It always has to be about our members, because they deserve that from us. So because I knew what Burn did for me, I needed Burn. I needed you as my trainer to see things in me. So that's a pretty big weight on our shoulders, right? So when we make it about us, we're never going to be who they need us to be. It's always got to be about them. So if we can keep that in the back of our mind and humble ourselves to ask for feedback, and sometimes it can be hard. And that can be a hard pill to swallow whenever somebody's telling you where you have areas of opportunity to grow. But it's always about, how can I get better and how can I add value to our members? And if I really do believe, like, that's what growth has got to be about as a trainer, is like, how can I get better so that my members' experience is what it needs to be? Because not only are they there for that physical transformation, because for me, that, I guess, if I can talk from personal experience on the member side of things, like, the physical transformation was one thing. It was the mental transformation and how important and impactful that 45 minutes was for me. And I think that's the bigger picture that we've got to keep in mind. Like, a lot of our members, that might be the best 45 minutes that we got all day. You know, it really, really can be. It can be such a beautiful light in an otherwise pretty dark place that some of our members can come from. And I want to be the absolute best that I can be. And so I want to be humble, because if you see one place where I could have impacted you in that camp better, tell me. Mm-hmm. Tell me. So if we can all come, that's the growth that I want to have. And that's the growth that I want to see in my trainers and everybody that comes through our gym.
So what? And I like this, because now we're starting to get into describing the traits of how you think a greatness is achieved as a trainer. And I hear two things so far, and I want to give you the opportunity to add to this list if anything comes to mind. So greatness as a trainer so far is two things, but it's this constant seeking to get better, which seeking being the key word, like being on the offense, looking for ways to get better, not just defensively sitting back and able to take criticism, but looking to be critical, knowing that there's opportunity to get better. That, and then it's kind of tied into it, but also humility, or you said more eloquently, making it about the members and not about you. So removal of ego and humility. And then also being able to seek and take and synthesize feedback seems to be two key qualities. What else do you see the best trainers have in Burn Nation? If there's aspiring trainers out there that want to take our path, or trainers that are listening to this that are looking to level up and looking for the Ashley Beasley qualities for greatness, what else might come to mind?
Hungry for growth. That's probably the biggest one. Hungry for knowledge on how we can improve our members' lives, right? And just really somebody that's like a natural born encourager, but that has such a balance of like command. I kind of call it like sweet and salty. I need
Self-love.
Yeah, I need a trainer that is going to be loving enough basically to make me do the hard things and make our members do the hard things, because they're there with us for a reason, because they're not going to do on their own what we're going to have them do in the gym and on our floor with us. So there's got to be command, and there's got to be a sense of authority, and we've got to make sure that our members trust us. And the way to do that is to be knowledgeable and confident in our product.
I love that. So knowledge, confidence, growth mindset, feedback oriented, humble, about them, not about you, a natural encourager. And I think what I notice about this is you're not talking about fitness at all. Like, there's really nothing to do with the technical anatomy, kinesiology side, the certificate. Everybody, obviously we have those things. We respect those things. But no one has ever asked either one of us to break out our certification and show them on paper that we're qualified to serve them, because they feel that in our in our connections and our interactions. They feel how genuine it really is. And that's the way that relationship, the keyword being trust that you just said, that to me is the unlock for a member to really transform their lives and to take hold of what, pick up what we're putting down and actually go do something about it, is this sense of encouragement and this sense of, hey, this person believes in me. And wait a second, that's not normal. I've never had anyone really believe in me the way this person is believing in me. And this is why I say that I always talk about it on the podcast, that belief is a lot of times the jumper cables for somebody else's self-confidence. So if somebody's like depleted emotionally and they're in the dumps and mildly depressed and what are they going to pull themselves up by their bootstraps when they don't have boots? That's pretty silly. It's like, you need somebody else to come along and say, hey, you're more than you think you are. You're more than you're giving yourself credit for. You don't come by, and you don't do this either, right? You don't come by and say, oh, hey, you're okay. You're okay. You can do that.
Because what is that going to do?
You can do it. You're good just the way you are. It's okay. Don't worry about it. It's like, if I wasn't worried about it, I wouldn't feel like I'm in this emotionally distressed place. I don't feel good and I want help. So you telling me that I'm okay just the way I am is not helping me at all. I need somebody to come by and say, hey, you're better than you think you are. I see this inside of you. Do you see it in yourself?
You got to be able to speak the truth into somebody.
Show up tomorrow. Yeah. And we're going to work on, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And that belief from somebody else can often be that catalyst into a member's journey. So tie that in for me. Because of this belief, and maybe it started from a professional perspective with our interaction, right? And then Ashley B shows up every day, gets better and better and better. Then Bees trains Jenna and all of the countless other trainers in Burn Nation, but Jenna obviously sticks out, and you're growing real time. It's probably hard for you to see because you look at yourself in a mirror all day long and you're so familiar with yourself, but you see other people kind of constantly telling you that. So you're like, oh, maybe it's true if everyone is kind of saying that, hey, I'm this influential to them. Well, maybe I am, and let me use this power for good, and then let me go out and see how I can really impact our members' lives. So is there anybody that, a member that you've worked with particularly who was in a place where they were being discouraged emotionally, and maybe anybody that sticks out to you that, your belief was the kickstart to their journey and they've gone on to do great things?
There's been a lot.
There's so many, I know. Well, when you're the flagship and you have one of the biggest memberships in the country, there's a lot of members. I see your board. Maybe pick up somebody off the board that I see in Lake Norman and just talk a little bit about whoever comes to mind. You're so involved, right, with your members' journeys and their lives and getting them into focus meetings. Who sticks out to you?
Katie Hardison, and if you know Katie, you love Katie, and Katie's book Wild.
Okay, let's go, Katie.
But Katie has had a huge physical transformation with us. I would venture to say she's probably lost close to 100 pounds. Mm-hmm. This is funny because I actually told her the other day, I found she has a very tight-knit group of friends that they all come usually at 9:15, and they're very chatty. Let's just say that. I love you guys so much. I love you. But they're very chatty. Yes. They give me a run for my money. But I actually found a picture of all of them and myself last Christmas. And the physical transformation of this entire group, I was like, I'm the only one that looks the same. I'm like 98% happy for you, a little 2% jealous. But Katie, just the confidence that she has in herself now is astounding. And I love watching it. And she's the epitome of sweet and salty. Like I know this girl and her heart is beautiful, but she has a very sassy side to her too. And I love seeing that come out even more as her physical transformation is happening and she's more confident. Like this girl, I remember her first box jump like it was yesterday. Like it's seared into my brain, that memory. I just don't think that would have happened to her anywhere else, right? I know these things happen to me too. I think that's what this place does for people. But she stands out in my mind as somebody that not only is it physical, but the confidence that I see in her. And she's such a just beautiful, genuine human on the inside and the outside. And I love seeing her walk in what everybody else sees.
Yeah.
You know, like I think a lot of times, like so many other people will see something in us that we don't necessarily see in ourselves. And now I see her seeing that in herself too. And that makes me feel really great that I would even have like the tiniest part of that journey.
Yeah. And well, I know Katie, and she gives it all up to you. That's for sure. Yeah.
Katie's crazy.
Yeah, she gives it all up to you. And she goes, hey, you better take care of bees, all right? You better take care of bees. I'm watching you. So I'm like, all right, I got you, Miss Katie. We're good. We're good to go. That's my homie.
I love my people have my back.
Yeah, no, they definitely do. And, you know, you're able to do your work, make your magic inside of Lake Norman, which is, you know, one of the most electric environments, atmospheres, one of the largest by membership and by revenue gyms in the country. And so, you know, you're able to have that part, you know, the community of that as a part of your canvas and your toolbox to change people's lives. Describe the environment, the atmosphere of Burn Lake Norman, and kind of where we're at and where we're going, and how it's grown into be what it is today.
I mean, if you've ever stepped foot, and I've been in a lot of gyms throughout Burn Nation, and Burn Nation is amazing no matter where you are. Lake Norman, obviously, I'm biased. It holds a very, very special place in my heart, but we got a community of amazing people that are ready to just get after it every single day. And they literally show up hungry for a challenge and hungry to see what they're made of. And like at the end of camp, I ask almost every single camp, like, who got a PR today? The amount of hands raised in the air just because our people are willing to just put themselves out there and challenge themselves, even unsure of what they're going to be able to do. And they surprise themselves. They're not surprising me because I know it. I know what they're capable of. I see it, but they are surprising themselves. And the beaming like that's coming out of them with that hand in the air when they've hit that PR it's just so contagious. And it's a community of there's a lot of fit people in Lake Norman. They really are. There's a lot of beast mode people in Lake Norman, but they're the most humble, loving, generous, just like-minded people that want the best in absolutely everybody. There's not a competitive atmosphere in that place at all. It's just, we want to see each other thrive. That's what Lake Norman is.
So I'm a trainer in Burn Nation, okay? And my gym aspires to be like Lake Norman. I'm not quite there yet. What characteristics does my team have to have? Do I have to have? How do I get my gym from maybe not doing as well as I wanted to do to be one of the largest in the country? What character traits does the gym need to have? Do I need to have? What type of team? What are some pitfalls? How do you get it from a parking lot all the way to what it is right now? And largely, like, I had the first few years, and then it was Lindsay, as you know, and then it was Kyle, and then it was Matt, and then from then it's been you. I mean, you've been in charge of Lake Norman for the vast majority of its growth, and really taken it to, you know, where I had it at maybe 500 or 600 members. You've taken it even bigger than that. And so what would your advice be to me as a trainer, somebody who is trying to, you know, emulate you, be like you? You're inspiring to me, but also, how do I get not just me personally, but how do I get my gym there? So like all my members are conditioned that they do walk in and like want to do PRs, that I'm not like dragging them through mud to get them to do stuff that they are conditioned to want to come in and do it.
I think walk the walk. Like, that's a big part of it. Like, you've got to believe in what you're selling. I believe in what we're selling because I know that it works. And if you're not willing to put yourself in that camp every single day, I work out at Lake Norman 6 days a week. And when people ask me, what else do you do? What other workouts do you do? 0. If I'm not on the floating floor or hitting on demand, I don't want it.
Yeah.
I've got a full basement in my gym. I'm going to Burn. And you know, I don't live that close to Burn Lake Norman. Yeah. I have a little bit of a haul, a little bit of a hike. Sometimes it can take me 2 hours to get there, but I'm going because I believe in what we're doing. And your team has got to believe. You got to believe in what we're doing, and you got to show up, and you got to put in the sweat equity, and you've got to believe in the products that we sell because what we're doing is superior. There's nothing else like this. So I think it's just walking the walk. I think that's probably the biggest part of it is believing it, trusting it, and just watching it change your life the same way it's changing the rest of the people out there.
So then talk about how that has influenced your trainers. And I believe at Lake Norman we have over a dozen.
We have 14 right now,
14
including subs.
So how does your actions, your individual cadence of how you walk and talk, your behaviors throughout the day, how does that influence your team and then ultimately your members?
I think that they see me, showing up for camp every single day. They see all of our team is willing to like chip in, pitch in, help each other out. Like it's a great team atmosphere, but like that's what it's got to be about. Like we've got to all have each other's backs. That's a huge part of it because when your team is healthy, your gym is healthy. And when it's not going to be. So you've got to have that team mindset. And you've got to make sure that people are showing up, that they're working out, that they are immersed into the community, that we're making friends, we're relational, that it's not just a workout. Like we've got to care about people outside the gym too. You've got to know your members. You got to know about their kids. You got to know what's going on in their life. Like you've got to absolutely invest in them. Those focus meetings are fantastic places to like get to know your members even more. It's not just about stepping on the in body and what are those numbers. Like, I want to know what's going on in your life. And that's a standard for our training team. It's not just what's happening on the floor. It's how can I better serve you in every area of your life?
So you came to Burn and started hitting the workouts right away. You had I remember our focus meetings and you were and still are to this day, one of the most disciplined eaters that I've ever had the privilege of training. And it's funny that you mentioned Chelsea too, because she was also one, like you two, you guys were sticklers for macronutrients and your focus meeting times. I remember one time I love you, Chelsea. I was late to a focus meeting with Chelsea, and the way she looked at me, I thought my life was over with. I thought I was done for. She looked at me like, "Don't you ever be late to my focus meeting again. I am counting every single macronutrient."
She said, "And I am hungry."
And I am hungry, and you do not be late to my focus meeting. But that's why she's so successful too, because of that attitude and that mindset, that work ethic. Your nutrition is that's an interesting topic that I think we can talk about. So, obviously you came in, you started working out, you changed your eating. How did you change your eating? How long did it take? What do you eat now? And describe a healthy day today in Ashley Beasley's routine.
Now listen, coming in from no fitness background, I didn't even know what a macronutrient was. Like thinking about counting my protein was so foreign to me. And it was hard in the beginning. It's a tedious journey to start, being that disciplined with your nutrition. But once I did, the results came very, very, very quickly. You asked me to trust you in my first focus meeting, and I did. There was, you won't remember this. You told me to go to Earth Fair, which was basically before Whole Foods got here.
Yeah, I remember.
Earth Fair. Uh-huh. And you said, take a picture of your grocery cart before you check out. And I was like, ooh, there's going to be some stuff you don't want to see in there. And you were like, the good, the bad, the ugly. Let me see it.
Yeah.
And I did. And you were like, okay, that has no place. If you have goals, that has no place there. Right. And it was just eye-opening to me. I did get very, very strict with it, saw results very, very quickly. But I've had, even throughout my burn journey, I've had ups and downs with it. And I am not somebody that has been fit. I have been very overweight in my life. I have struggled with eating since I was a child, grew up very, very overweight. I'll just bluntly, when I had my daughter, I was 221 pounds going into the hospital and came out with a 6-pound baby. And that wasn't baby weight, right? Mm-hmm. And so I knew I had a lot of work to do. And granted, I had lost some weight, before I had my son and before I even started burn. So that journey had started, but nutrition and macronutrients, that wasn't part of it. But once you helped me to really understand that it mattered what I was fueling my body with, my body definitely changed. I still, to this day, protein is a non-negotiable. And even through my burn journey, I've had ups and downs. I've been leaner than I am now. But I have realized that leaner is not always the healthiest place for my body. And so now I think I'm at a pretty good place where I allow myself to have things that I enjoy. And like if I'm going on a trip with my family, I'm going to let my hair down a little bit and enjoy and like have memories, but not let it get me off track and keep my eyes off focus of what the goal is. So still to this day, protein is a non-negotiable for me. I'm hitting regularly 135 grams or higher daily. I found very easy way. I'm a creature of habit. I eat the same things all the time.
Tell us what those things are.
I'm going to eat eggs and egg whites every day. I am going to make ground turkey breast tacos, and we're going to eat on that the whole week to the point where my son is going to hate it.
He no longer.
But we're going to do it. We're going to do it.
Tacos,
Yeah. I'm not a meal prepper.
Okay.
That doesn't work for me. I think it works for a lot of people. It just doesn't work for me. I'll batch cook some protein to have throughout the week, but I'm not going to make my meals and have containers in the fridge. But I think that works for a lot of people. And I think you got to find what works for you. But yeah, grilled chicken is a staple in our house. Like we're going to stock up on chicken breast, but I'm going to eat a bar every single day because I want to eat my food. That's me. I want to like the peanut butter afterburn bars. If you've not tried it, what are you waiting on?
They're pretty good.
It's amazing. And I love a late night snack. And sometimes that's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I stay very regimented, with what I eat because I know it makes me feel good. And I also, when I do let my hair down, I pay for it. And I don't feel good after I have gotten, off track with my nutrition. And I am not perfect, but I have a couple of things that I feel like help me. Like my coffee in the morning is like, I'm going to drink that coffee. And it's not a good coffee creamer that I'm putting in. But you're going to pry that one out of my cold, dead hand because it keeps me happy. And that little bit is what satisfies me throughout the day to be like, hey, I'm going to get that coffee again in the morning and I'm going to stay on track the rest of the day. So I think nutrition is very relative to a lot of people. It's like, what can you do that makes you feel good that's sustainable, right? And I've been on both ends of it, completely not caring about it. And then also being on the other end where what I was doing was not sustainable. It was so strict.
When we got super, super lean for that first Burn Athlete Games.
Oh, the burnout.
Do you remember that?
Yeah. Do I remember it?
I'm pretty sure you
Core memory. Yeah.
So everybody, we the original athlete games were not games at all. This was early in my career. I had just gotten off bodybuilding competitions in this whole shtick around trying to make like the nationals. I did make the nationals and got my absolute butt kicked at nationals and realized that this was a sport that I didn't have a future in. But also got a little satisfaction from getting lean and thought that, hey, well, trainers might want to do this too. So we put out like this physical biometric profile. Like you had to be, if you're a woman, you had to be less than this amount of body fat. If you're a man on this day you weighed in, you had to be less than this body fat. And if you could achieve those things and prove it, then we were going to bring you in. We were going to do like a whole media day, a photo shoot. And
you had to do the SAC in less than 10 minutes.
Oh, the SAC in less than 10 minutes.
There was a physical component to it as well.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. See, this is why we need you to be on the podcast more. You're like a lockbox. Yeah, you had to pass the SAC. And from there, then members were like, why are you guys doing this?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's a good point. We don't want you to do this. This is not very healthy. So let's not do that. Let's make it more about the physical performance elements. And yeah, that's why. That's the history of
That's gross. Games. We learned from that.
We did learn from that.
We did. And we got some really cool pictures.
Down in Naples, Florida that we went to do that photo shoot?
Vividly.
Yeah. Everybody was so hangry.
Yep. And there were Oreos there for afterwards.
There were Oreos.
Let's just be real.
Well,
that was the kickoff to Summit that year, too.
It was the kickoff to Summit.
Yeah, it was.
Down in Naples, Florida.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, this was 2016, I believe. 2016 Summit, or 17, one of the two. All right, so a couple more questions for you. So if you were to boil down all of your focus meetings, You've trained, that's tens of thousands of camps. Let's call it that. If you were to boil your focus meetings down into like the 3 practical things, like 1 to 3 practical things that you'd want listeners of the podcast to say, hey, I just heard Beasley talk about 3 things that I have to do. If I'm not doing these things, I got to start doing these things because it's the common denominators of what you've seen be successful in people. What are those things?
For one thing, it's getting to camp regularly. And I want you to have an accountability buddy. That's huge.
Okay.
Because when you have somebody that's going to check on you when you're not there, find an accountability buddy, have a goal, share it with them of how many times you're going to get into the gym. That right there. That's number 1 for me. You got to get into the gym because if nothing changes, nothing changes. And then you got to get your protein in. Yeah, it's just that important. So number 2, protein. And if you are buying your products out there and you're not looking at the ingredients, we have made it so easy for you to get a quality product in your hand right on the shelf, on the door, on the way out. We actually keep ours in our focus meeting room because I want to put it in your hands before you leave.
Right.
That's the easiest way to get your protein in, and it is that important. I feel like in focus meetings, one of the things we talk about all the time was like, I feel like I'm spinning my wheels. I'm doing all of this work. I'm never seeing the results. Creatine and protein. Those are the 2 things. You're probably missing those 2 things because if you're putting all the work into the gym and then you're not seeing results, chances are you're not giving yourself the building blocks to actually help your muscles to grow in that recovery time. You're just tearing them down in the gym. They're repairing, getting back together. They're never growing.
Right.
And then you start getting like nagging little injuries. So that's get into the gym, find an accountability buddy, get your protein in, and as basic as it sounds, drink your water. Do it.
It's the basics, right?
It really, really is. And when we see our members lock those 3 things in, they change. Things change.
And sometimes you think that it's a common denominator to think we need to do more than that. Like
simple.
That we overcomplicate it and we have all of these things that we have to do. Therefore, we do none of them.
They're basic. Now, basic doesn't always mean simple.
Okay.
Like, I'll be honest with you. I struggle to drink my water every single day.
Okay.
And I'll be very blunt with that. I tell our members that all the time. That's why I got to put Replenish in it so it tastes good.
Yeah, that's a good hack.
I'm not plugging these products. These are products that are changing my life for the better, right? I struggled to drink this, but if I put something in there, I'm going to drink it.
Right.
So just do it. It is simple. It is basic. It's not always easy though, but we're making it as easy as we can for you to be successful.
Yeah. So basic and easy aren't the same thing.
Not always.
Yeah. Not always the same thing. Yeah. That's great advice. That's great advice. Focus meetings are so important too, you guys. If you're out there and you haven't been in a focus meeting with your trainer, you got to be. And oftentimes we don't show up because we're just disappointed with the broken promises that we made and we don't want to admit that to somebody else. If you can stay in a focus meeting cadence at Burn, you are going to stay on track. And like you said earlier, I asked you to show me the good, the bad, the ugly.
Yeah.
Because we just want to help. This isn't about judging you for your grocery cart, or I think that's the reference you made. I wasn't going to judge you or shame you because you sent me a grocery cart that had some like box cereal in it or whatever.
It did. It was box cereal. That was what it was.
Yeah. I have a vivid memory, Bees. I remember the Cocoa Krispies from the Earth Fair that are the knockoff version. But you heard it from Bees, right? Those things, they're simple things. They're not easy, but if you can keep it simple, keep it 1, 2, 3.
But the focus meeting isn't just about that either. Mm-hmm. So if you're somebody who is just shying away from it because maybe you do feel like you've let yourself down, you don't want to let your trainer down. Focus meetings aren't just about those physical things. Use that. I promise you, your trainer wants to know you better so they can train you better. So a lot of times my focus meetings are like, hey, how can I better serve you out on the floor? How do you like to be trained? I want to know that kind of stuff. I want to know you better so that I can better serve you. And I guarantee you, it is a judgment-free zone. Like, it is the good, the bad, the ugly. Show it because we want to know that, because it's going to make it easier for us to get you where you want to be. And we care about that. And
that's our main goal, right? That's our main goal. And that's what binds us all together. Bees, myself, everybody at HQ is, and our franchise partners, and all 6,000 or 7,000 of our employees. We really, truly, genuinely want to see you get better and take it to the next level. And so we're building a company in the future that is to do just that. And, Bees, you're on the inside of kind of what's going on more so than most everyone else on what's going on with Burn in the future. And, what are you excited about that we have going on, how we're going to serve members differently or better? Anything that sticks out to you that is coming down the line that excites you?
I'm just excited to see our programming as it evolves, like seeing what it came from back in the day in the wild, wild west, and seeing what, Matt and what you are doing with programming and how our members are getting results tenfold when we are following, progressive overload and periodization. And I'm excited for the advances in our programming. I'm excited to see some new equipment hit the gym. I am excited for some, I kind of have some teasers on like what nutrition products are coming out, and I'm real excited about those. But I won't let the cat out of the bag.
Morgan Kline might kill us both if we let the cat out of the bag on the podcast on what's coming down the line.
You're going to be real excited. It's good stuff. There's a lot of good stuff like in the pipeline, and I'm just really excited to see how many more people we can get through the door and see how many more lives we can change. Truly.
Well, I know that for you and I, doing these the same old thing with more people and impacting more lives is what gets us up in the morning and keeps us motivated. You're my partner in crime when it comes to training the trainers across Burn Nation and ultimately our members. And we just thank you very much. We believe in you. We believe in the future of what you're going to do here. You are in all of the conversations around how we want to grow not only this area, but how we want to grow the company, who we want our trainers to emulate. And, you've just been from that V-neck t-shirt back in the day at Huntersville till now, you aren't even the same person. You just keep reinventing yourself. It seems like every 4 to 6 months, you just keep reinventing yourself and becoming a new version of the already stellar old version of yourself. And, and we appreciate you because you're somebody you're an idol for a lot of people in Burn Nation. And someone that, we really look up to. And when you have that responsibility, it's easy to let that slip or let that fold or let that go away and take it for granted, but you don't. And you remember who you are through humility and through the grace of God and through, your passions. They just shine. And we just love you and we appreciate you. And I'm glad that Burn Nation got a chance to hear directly from the woman herself.
Well, that's amazing. And I feel so honored to be here. And I just feel like you guys, Burn Nation, you are such a blessing to me. And I'm so thankful to be on this journey with everybody here. So what an honor. And thank you.
All right, you'll be back, Bees. This won't be the last time we have you on the new season of the Burn
I have
Boot
a
Camp
lot
podcast.
more stories.
I know.
We didn't scratch the surface.
We didn't scratch the surface. We definitely have to do a part 2, and we'll bring back some of those stories. We did get some good ones in.
I love it.
We got some good ones, and we'll do a part 2. Everybody, our goal is 100,000 subscribers on the podcast as well as on the main page. So if you are loving Burn Boot Camp Podcast, go to YouTube right now, search Burn Boot Camp Podcast, subscribe to the page. We have to get 100,000. That's our goal. We got to do it for producer Chelsea. Chelsea wants us to do it. Look, show Chelsea. No, are you on audio for this one? All right, Chelsea's on audio for this one, but she is for our HQ episodes. And she told me that's what we got to be doing. We got to get everybody out there to subscribe to YouTube. And we appreciate you guys. So thanks for hanging out with us, everybody. And I will see you over at episode 3 with Matt Morris. You can click on that right here to listen to our interview. I'll see you over there. And until next time, 2 claps on 2. 1, 2.